on, y'all? As you can see, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Similar to what we did last week, we were going to do a comparison video. I got the brackets set up here. So today is going to be the best supercar killer. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about just, you know, a sports car that has lots of horsepower that can easily keep up with supercars, or you know, sports cars that have an exotic look. So they kind of look like supercars. I can hang out with them in terms of, you know, in the parking lot. So both the parking lot and on the road. As you can see, we got the M8 competition here, Shelby GT500, Model S Plaid, Audi RS Performance, the Corvette Z06, Challenger Hellcat wide body, AMG GTS, and R35 GTR, specifically the DBA. I understand that you probably will see, or you probably don't see a lot of cars here that could qualify. I'll probably do a lot of follow-ups for this, but this is what I came up with for today. And as you can see, I split them up arbitrarily. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I put these two together, the M8 and the Shelby, because they look similar. They have a similar profile. C7 and the Challenger because they're both the highest horsepower vehicles from the brand, and they're kind of similar in terms of muscle car-ish, but one takes a different approach than the other. AMG GTS versus R35, those are just two left. I mean, they're not really that comparable. However, this is the bracket. So actually, without further ado, let's let me pause this music. Let's get in the show. Oh, wow. Didn't even turn on my light either. Gosh. What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the show. As I mentioned, today we're going to be doing the bracket for the best supercar killer. I got everything down for you guys today in terms of the ways we're going to be analyzing these 8 cars. So in terms of categories, we got styling. I'll just put this up here on the screen. We got styling. We got the power to weight ratio. We got the acceleration, reliability, value, brand appeal, and then the total. And the reason why I chose these, well, styling is just the way they look, subjective, obviously. Hey, shout out to Clean Whips in the chat. What is going on, man? Do you think this is a good comprehensive list? What would you add if you had to make another one in terms of, well, I know this is, your GTR is right up here, front and center, so I know you're happy. Anyway, power to weight. So basically, I do a different type of power to weight ratio. I combine the power and the horsepower, and then I divide that by the pounds. And so it's a little bit different, but it kind of gives the car to, lets the car include both the power and the torque. Yeah, I mean, the Plaid kills everything, but it's still a Tesla, you know. And then power to weight, oh, that's what I said. 0 to 60 time, this is objective rating. It's just 0 to 60 times. Reliability is also objective, kind of. It's mostly due to what I've researched and found. And then value, this isn't truly value. I don't want to say it's value as in like it's a low value or a high value car. I'm just talking about the depreciation value. Does the car depreciate? Because if the car depreciates, that's just, I mean, it shows in one way that the market doesn't really like that car because no one wants it, so the price goes down. And two, it also shows, you know, is the car even worth the money that it's being sold for? What is the actual value? That's what value is. It's not, is the car a good value or not? And then finally, brand appeal. This is just, it's more objective, but I'm just kind of carrying that over from the last example, which we did last week was going to be, or what we did last week was the best supercar or entry-level supercar. So 100 grand to 150 grand was the budget for that. Today, the budget is going to be 50 grand to 80 grand. So these are cars that are 50 grand to 80 grand that can easily keep up with any supercar out there. Cool. So let's get to it. Before that, though, let's get some quick announcements. Sorry, it's been a long day, y'all. As you can see, I started the show a little bit late, but as you know, we get it done. So here we have the top supercar killers. I'm sorry, I'm just reading it. Having a brain fart. Anyway, here's a Discord. If you want to win 50 bucks, I'm doing a giveaway on Friday. I'm just going to pick the names from here. And then, yep, I'm going to do a random name generator. And then we're going to pick the winner, and then 50 bucks free. If you want 50 bucks, all you got to do is hit the description and hit that link. In order to qualify, not only do you have to join the Discord, but you also have to like and comment on any video on the channel. Subscribe to the channel as well. 85% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Also hit that like button. Dislike, like, it doesn't really matter to me. Some people dislike my video. That's fine. I don't really care. Dislike it, like, I don't really care. And finally, share a video with somebody. You can either share a video on YouTube or you can share one of my reels. I put them on my Instagram. The links are going to be in the description. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, share a video, and join the Discord. I'm doing a giveaway, 50 bucks on Friday. So hope to see you guys there. And if you want to tell people about it, just have them join and they'll be eligible. Cool. All right. So let's get back to this. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Wood paint. So I guess we'll start off with the M8 versus the Shelby GT500. I got some videos. I hope these aren't going to get copyrighted, but you never know. Let's just look at this one first. Shout out to Zeds. I used to follow him on Instagram, but I don't know what happened. Anyway, let's play this video. So yeah, that's Jacob Black. Fair use, y'all. Don't copyright my shit. People are always trying to copyright my videos for using their little clips. Fair use. And then what else? Oh, the Shelby. So here we got a Shelby. Oh, the music definitely get me copyrighted. Well, fair use anyway. Don't copyright my thing. But as you can see, it's the GT500. It uses the 5.2 liter Predator engine, cross plane with the supercharger, big supercharger. It's like 2.65 liters or something. And so as you can see here, it makes tons of power, around 760 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque, I believe. The most powerful Mustang. It's supposed to be like the Hellcat competitor, even though it's a little bit step above the Hellcat because it's not a mass-produced vehicle like the Hellcat is. You really don't see these. They went from 2020 to around 2022, so not that long. And yeah, these cars, really good value in terms of they don't depreciate at all. Everyone wants them. They're pretty rare as well. And oh yeah, they have a dual clutch. One of the only Mustangs that have a dual clutch. So yeah. Hey, shout out to Trini Man in the chat. What is going on? Yeah, Jacob, I know I've been pushing back the show, so it's been harder for you to catch it. So yeah, I'm be so busy during the day, I have to push it back. So these are the two cars for this one right here. I'll bring up their FOP sheets. We got the M8 right here. So I'm gonna just read them off real quick. We got M8 2020 to present. Uses the 4.4 liter S63 B44 T4. So it's the fourth version of the S63 or the fourth version of the TU version of the S63. 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. It uses the 8-speed ZF8 HP 76 automatic transmission, all-wheel drive, which is interesting. And 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. This car is really fast. And I mean, they advertise it as like 3.3 or something, but every road test has been under the 3s for this car. Super fast car, available as a sedan, coupe, and convertible. In terms of options, you can choose the interior leather, interior trim. You got carbon ceramic brakes, M carbon buckets. You got seat heating front and rear, M carbon exterior package, Alcantara headliner. And in terms of problems, there aren't really that many problems. I mean, it's a new car, so a lot of people don't, like, a lot of the problems won't roll in until maybe like 5 or 6 years after a car comes out. So in terms of what's been reported so far, you have inner tire wear, excessive inner tire wear that just comes from an alignment. It doesn't feel M enough. So what this means is the difference between like an M850i and an M8 isn't as significant as people would like. They want the M8 to be a super unique experience, and you don't want to get 90% of it with the M850i. However, that's just how it is. I mean, it's a fast car. I guess it's just really big and the steering feels probably numb. That's usually how it is with the 6 Series and the 8 Series. They don't feel as good as like a 3 Series or a 4 Series to drive. However, it's really fast and it's really luxurious, so I don't see what the problem is. It'll probably have some typical BMW problems in the future. However, BMW's been doing really well so far in terms of reliability, so that may not be true, but you never know. It's still a BMW. And again, not many problems currently with these cars. A lot of them are low miles. You really won't see any problems on cars like these till they hit like 65, 70,000 miles. And most of them are like in the 30s and 40s at most. So that's the M8. Let's look at the Shelby. We have the Shelby 2020 to 2022 only. So very short model year run. 5.2 liter Predator supercharged V8 with a 2.65 liter root style supercharger. 760 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. Top speed 195 miles per hour. Use the Tremec TR 9070 7-speed dual clutch transmission. So a lot of people were upset about the dual clutch being on the GT500. They wanted that old school manual, but the dual clutch is where it's at for this car. Have you ever seen one or heard one? It sounds insane. In terms of options, let's just, well, forgot to show you guys actually. This was going to be the BMW M8 brochure. As you can see, you can pick the paint colors. A lot of different paints available for the M8. You got metallic, non-metallic, individual metallic. And then these are your leather options, full merino / Alcantara. Then you have full merino, lots of merino colors. And you also have full individual merino. So you can do whatever you want, really. Interior trims, you got fine wood, M carbon fiber. And then you have piano black and individual fine wood trim, ash, black, silver effect, high gloss. That's a lot. And then these are your options. Hey, shout out to you, Jacob Blackman. It's good to have you back. I'm glad you are back watching. And then, man, the Shelby Mustang one. Oh, here we go. And then we have the Mustang options. So as you can see, what the GT500 features, that's different from the 350 or any other Mustang. You can see that here. Larger front radiator, block-off plate, magnesium tower-to-tower brace, 6-way power adjustable front seats, and ebony leather with Miko suede cloth inserts. You have heated and cooled front seats, leather and Alcantara wrapped steering wheel with paddle shifters, remote start, rotary shift dial, Shelby exclusive aluminum instrument panel trim, Shelby. Oh, and then you have the technology package, which is the blind spot information system, the B&O sound system, 12 speakers, driver seat memory, heated side view mirrors, blah, blah, blah. Handling package, you get the adjustable strut top mounts, oil catch can, the gurney flaps, the splitter wickers. I don't know what that is, actually, a splitter wicker. Anyway, carbon fiber track pack, you get the carbon fiber wheels. You got adjustable strut top mounts for Carl 4-way manually adjustable seats with the 2-way for your passenger. Exposed carbon fiber instrument panel trim, exposed carbon fiber GT4 track wing. So you can see that here. Splitter wickers. I don't know what that is. Wheel locks. And then you have the carbon fiber handling package, which comes with the same carbon fiber wheel, oil catch can, basically the handling package plus the wheels. And then you have individual options, including a black painted roof, exposed carbon fiber, instrument panel, racing stripes. You have those 4-way driver / 2-way passenger seats or Recaro seats. And so yeah, those are going to be your options for the Shelby GT500. So we got the Shelby GT500 versus the BMW M8. So let's bring up the stats. So what are we doing? We're doing the Shelby GT500 right here versus the M8. All right, cool. So what do I have for them in terms of styling? The M8, I gave it a 6 in terms of styling. Okay, let me see if I just want to make sure I'm out of the frame. So as you can see here, I gave the Shelby a 5. I gave the M8 a 6. Again, these are on a scale where it's comparable to exotic cars as well. So let me actually make this a little bit smaller. That way, because I don't want to block off the whole screen. All right, cool. There we go. So as I was saying, the Shelby GT500, I get it. It's a good looking car, but it's still a Mustang to me. And the M8, it still looks like a Mustang as well. So I give it a 6. It looks a little bit better than the Shelby. The Shelby looks good. You know, the Shelby could possibly get a 6 or be equal to the M8, but I think the M8 just looks a lot better. The Shelby is still like it looks like a riced out Mustang, if we're going to be honest. So let's get to the power to weight ratios. All right, so 617 horsepower for the M8 comp, 553 pound-feet of torque, 760 horsepower for the Shelby GT500, 625 pound-feet of torque. You add them together, you get these numbers right here. The weight, both of these cars are pretty heavy. The M8 weighs a little bit more at 4,156 pounds. The Shelby GT500 weighs 4,080 pounds. So it is a very heavy car. And this is the ratios between the two. As you can see, the power to weight for the Shelby is going to be a lot higher. Yeah, I kind of want a BMW M8. They're so cheap now. You can get an M8 competition for half price, basically. And they're only 3 or 4 years old. It's crazy. But we'll get to that in a second. As you can see here, the power to weight ratio is 0.28 for this one and 0.34 almost for this one. So this one gets a 9. 0.34 is pretty high in terms of the grand scheme of things. And then 0.7 or 0.28 is going to give this one a 7. In terms of 0 to 60 times, we'll get those as well. So 0 to 60 time for the M8 competition is 2.7 seconds, which is insane. Super fast for a super heavy car like this. And, you know, the power is a lot, but it's not too much. It's mainly due to the all-wheel drive system. And then for the GT500, even though it has all this power and torque, it's rear-wheel drive. And so 3.4 seconds is the official time for that car. Yeah. Acceleration for this one gets a 10. Anything under like 2.9 is going to get a 10. 3.4 is we'll get it a 5. I mean, On the grand scale of things, we're comparing to exotic cars as well. So 3.4 is not going to be that fast at all. So 5 is what it gets. And reliability. Let's see what I have here for reliability. The M8 comp is going to be, you know, there really aren't any problems with the M8 comp. I just put it as an 8 because it's a BMW. You never know. The Shelby GT500, what did I put down here for the problems? So it has, oh, I forgot to go over the problems for this one. It has timing chain tensioner issues, oil consumption issues sometimes, and then DCT trans cooler lines. So not really too many issues. These are more one-off issues that people have just reported on. Again, there aren't too many of these examples floating around. So if someone reports on the problem, it will probably get talked about, regardless if it's really a big problem or not. So as we can see here, these 3 problems. Reliability, I give BMW an 8. All the new BMWs are pretty reliable. This one gets a 7. It's still pretty reliable, just has a little bit more documented issues. And then so now we're going to go to the value. These are objective. They're just, I pulled the numbers from KBB. And then so the average MSRP for M8 competition was almost 145 grand. However, the average price now online is around 67,000. So you have a 0.46 percent, or basically the car is worth 0.46 of what it used to be worth. So the value, I give it a 4. The Mustang Shelby GT500 though, the average MSRP was around 81 grand, but the average price now is almost 80 grand. So the ratio is 0.98. It's a really good value in terms of it hasn't depreciated at all. People really want these cars, so it gets a 9. And then finally, brand appeal. 7. I give BMW a 7 because it is a German luxury car brand. It has good appeal to the general masses. Clean Whips hates BMWs, it sounds like. He loves Nissans and hates BMWs. Hilarious. And then the Shelby gets a 6 for brand appeal. It's a Mustang, so I mean, you know, it's still a Mustang. American cars don't have the biggest brand appeal. So it gets a 6, even though it is a GT500. Cool. All right, so what are the total scores? Who's going to win this shootout? Wow, that was close, actually. So we can see here the BMW M8 has won by 1 point. So, yeah, the BMW M8 wins that one. Let me just clear this. So basically just, yeah, 42 versus 41. All right, so I'm moving back over here. M8 competition won the first. Oh, whoops. There we go. All right, who's up next? Let's do C7 Corvette versus the Challenger Hellcat. The onward curve. So actually, let's go over these things first. So we're getting C7 Corvette Z06 and the Hellcat. Where is the Z06? All right, right here. So C7 Corvette Z06 went from 2015 to 2019. It uses a 6.2 liter LT4 supercharged V. Actually, let's look at the videos first. I got videos. Hopefully they don't. Oh man, I gotta mute all these videos. They always play these musics, man. These musics. They always play music. Here we go. C7 Z06, 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. I really like the C7 Z06. It's actually like a really good deal. Compared to everything else, really, in terms of the power and the torque and the weight. Oh man, I wish I could play the sound. All right, you can hear it. It's pushrod V8, supercharged, but I can't listen to that music, unfortunately. Fair use, by the way. Don't copyright my stuff. You guys always want to claim the whole video for 30 seconds of your video. I'll put you guys in the description. As you can see though, it is a Corvette Z06. It's going to be a wider body than the regular Stingray. The Grand Sports are good too. If you don't know what a Grand Sport is, the Grand Sport is basically going to be the Z06 body with a regular Corvette engine, not the Z06 engine. But the Grand Sports are nice as well. So that's the Z06, and then what else are we looking at? The Hellcat. Oh man, we gotta mute that too. So we have a wide body Hellcat. Let's fast forward through this. Very mean looking car. A lot of people, I've talked to so many people about these cars and they don't like them compared to the Charger. They like the Chargers way better. I don't get it. The Chargers like look cool, but the Challenger just looks way better to me. More boxy. As you can see, it is what it is. Now they're just showing the process of making the video. But yeah, you guys get the idea. You got the C7 Z06 versus the Hellcat wide body Challenger. Again, going back to the Z06, the Charger is convenient. It's 4 doors. You can do more with it. I just like the way the Challenger looks. The Z06 uses a 6.2 liter LT4 supercharged V8, making 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. He has a 1.7 liter Eaton R1740 TVS supercharger, and it can either have a Tremec 7-speed manual or an 8-speed Hydromatic 8L90 automatic transmission. The coupes have a removable carbon fiber roof panel, carbon fiber hood with a larger vent, larger front fender vents, a larger rear spoiler. This is compared to the regular Corvette. Wide body as well. Brembo brakes, 6-piston front, 4-piston rear, magnetic ride control, limited slip differential, and it's available in a coupe and a convertible. In terms of options, you have 3 trim packages, 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ. The 2LZ is going to have everything the 1LZ has, which is the base, plus the color keyed console, door armrest, and instrument panel, brow, driver's side, auto dimming mirror, and frameless rearview mirror, universal home remote, 10 speaker Bose surround sound system, XM radio, heated and ventilated driver and passenger seats with power bolster and lumbar memory package and Z06 seat badging, luggage shade, and parcel net. 3LZ comes with everything the 1LZ and the 2LZ comes with, but it adds Chevy MyLink nav, performance data recorder, leather wrapped and color keyed instrument panel, doors and armrests, and center console. Napa leather seat inserts, suede microfiber wrapped upper interior trim package, which is the headliner, the visors, the A-pillars, the area around the rear windows. So basically Alcantara on the roof. And then problems, you have overheating on the track. This has to do with the intercooler for the supercharger. It's not really built for a lot of track use. You can't really take this car lap after lap after lap, but in really regular daily driving, this car is okay. You also have regular quality issues like dash rattles, speaker rattles, and some stuff like that. And then you have electrical gremlins. Of course, it's the GM product. You're going to have like your MyLink, your nav screen may go out sometimes. Different lights may not work, or, you know, there's little things, quality issues. It's not the most expensive car. And shout out to Crackalope in the chat. What is going on? Clean Whip said, sorry, the new Chargers look like big Dodge Darts. I agree. They just look like big sedans. I don't get them. I don't get it. Lots of people like the Chargers more than Challengers, and you can see that in the price too. The Chargers are way more expensive than the Challengers. But anyway, this is going to be the C7 Z06. So moving on to what it's being compared to the Hellcat. I got a little bit more options here. As you can see, some of these have way more written than others because some of these I haven't done videos on. So when the videos come, these will get more detailed. These are going to be the features for all the Challengers in general, but we're going to focus on the wide body Challenger Hellcats. So the wide body came in 2019, 2020 around. It used a 6.2 liter SRT Hemi Hellcat supercharged V8, making 717 really horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. You can either get an 8-speed auto or a 6-speed manual Tremec transmission. It has active dampening control and dual air-to-water intercoolers. In terms of options, there's a ton of options you can get. Tons of packages in typical Dodge fashion. You have the individual options. You have your Uconnect 8.4-inch screen with nav, high-performance Laguna leather seats, red seat belts, power sunroof, black satin hood, wheels, engine block heater. You got luxury floor mats, brake caliper color, Harman Kardon audio group. You know, your Harman Kardon system, power convenience group. These are all basically all the packages. Wide body, the SRT spoiler, backup camera, Alcantara equipment package, driver assistant group, painted satin black graphics package, rear seat delete group technology package, dual snorkel hood, carbon suede interior package, driver convenience group, and then you have the plus package. And then in terms of problems, yeah, I mean, there are not too many problems. Most of the problems are from 15 to 17, as you can see here. But I didn't even list out any real problems from 2019 and up. They're pretty reliable. You just have to realize that the Hemi engines have issues in general when you get to high miles. Stuff with the rocker arms and the whole valve train, just something happens. Did I write it down here? Yeah, rocker arm, cylinder misfire. It can happen. You also can have transmission problems. You can, but really, it's a pretty solid car, especially the newer ones. The supercharger is probably the biggest issue. You're gonna have a bad bearing noise at idle. Basically, there's this piece in the supercharger where it takes the motion from your engine, where you see the belt attached to the supercharger. There's like a clutch almost, and it basically takes the pulses out of the supercharger to give it one smooth spinning motion. And what pulses, you might be asking? Well, the engine is not spinning at a perfectly even torque rate, and so in the same fashion as a clutch has clutch springs, there's a similar type of mechanism in a supercharger to even out that torque and give you a nice smooth supercharger spinning, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, lots of problems on the earlier ones, but on the later ones, not too many problems to speak of. So we went over that. We got the videos. Let's see. Did I bring up any of these? No, I mean, we can look one up real quick. It'll only take a couple seconds to find. Dodge Challenger. Dodge Challenger. We'll look at a 2020. Look at some of the options. I know there's going to be a ton. So look how many different Challengers they give you. There's like, you'll see it in a second. It's ridiculous. All right, let's look. We got the SXT. We got the GT. We got the RT Scat Pack, the RT Scat Pack wide body, the SRT Hellcat, the SRT Hellcat wide body, the SRT Hellcat Red Eye, the SRT Hellcat Red Eye wide body. And that's only for 2020. As the years went on, they introduced way more special editions, but you can see, I want to go down to the packages. So many different packages. Well, we're sticking to the Hellcat. So we got the Alcantara appearance package. We got the carbon suede interior package, driver's convenience package, Harman Kardon audio group, Laguna leather. We also have the painted black satin package, plus package, technology group. So a ton of different stuff you can get for Dodge. Typical Dodge fashion, they have so many different options. And then what else? We're looking at the Z06. Do I have it up here? I don't. Let's just find it real quick. Corvette. Let's look at a 2018 Corvette. You just look at the packages, the 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ. As you can see, tons of interior colors for the Z06 as well. Did I pass it? Come on, man. Oh. They usually say it out in words. That's what I'm really looking for. All right, we're going to look at a different model year then, because I know they do it in like 2017 or 2016. Sorry, y'all. I forgot to bring these up. Well, actually, I exited out of them before the show started. Here we go. So these are the Z06 packages. You can see 1LZ comes with all this stuff. And then 2LZ just adds this stuff right here. Front curb, parking view cameras, color key console, as I mentioned before. This stuff right here gets added with 2LZ. And then with 3LZ, you get everything plus the nav screen, performance data recorder, leather wrapped, instrument panel, Napa inserts, and then the interior trim package. So tons of different options and stuff you can get on the Corvette. Get a 3LZ if you want to get one, maybe a 2LZ if you don't really care about nav, but I've always recommend just get a fully loaded car, especially if it's used. Get a fully loaded car. So we got these two. We got the Hellcat versus the Corvette. So let's get the sheet up here. So where are those at? We got the Corvette Z06. We got the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So what did I give them for styling? Oh, I gave them the same thing. Okay, so 8 for styling for both cars, but they both look good in different ways. So the Corvette is more of a sporty car. It's low to the ground. It's wide. It has much more of a sports car look. The Hellcat Challenger has definitely more of a muscle car look, but it still looks really good. It looks really aggressive and mean. If you ever see one coming up behind you, you know what I'm talking about. But same thing with the C7 Z06. It also looks really good. So these ones get equal ratings in my opinion. You guys know I love Hellcats, so of course it had to get a good rating. All right, cool. Let's look at the power to weight ratios. Okay, cool. So 650 horsepower, 650 torque, making a total of 1300. 717 horsepower, 656 torque, making a total of 1373. So high numbers here. The weight, though, 3,500 pounds for the Z06 Corvette. 3,500 pounds. The Challenger is almost 1,000 pounds heavier at 4,400 pounds. So as you can see, the power to weight ratios are still pretty high because the numbers are really high in terms of power. But this Corvette Z06 has one of the best power to weight ratios in the entire group today. That's why it gets a 10. And this one is a 0.31, gets an 8. So still a good power to weight ratio. However, it's not as good as the Corvette. So what did I say for the 0 to 60? 0 to 60 for the C7 is going to be 3 seconds flat. Acceleration gives it an 8. So a score of 8 for acceleration. Hellcat Challenger, I keep saying Charger. Hellcat Challenger, 3.4. No CTSV. See, I knew someone was going to say one that I forgot. I forgot the CTSV. But you know, we can always do a second round of this type of video. But I'll definitely remember that. No CTSV. I forgot about the CTSV. So 0 to 60 is 3.4 seconds for the Challenger. And so I gave it a 5. Reliability. What did I give the scores for reliability? 9 for the C7 Z06. Yeah, it really doesn't have much problems. It's a pretty good car. It's not the best made in terms of quality, but it doesn't really have any problems. The Challenger Hellcat has some problems, of course. But it's still also really reliable, especially if you get a wide body, because that automatically means it's 2019 or 2020 plus. And so yeah, 8 and 9, they both are pretty reliable cars. Most of these are going to be pretty reliable because they're all new. Of course, the reliability is subject to change if you know, over time. As of right now, that's all we know. Cool. All right, so the MSRP, the average price of these when it first came out for the C7 Z06 was 83.5, almost 84 grand. The average price now is around 61. Depends on if you get 1LZ, 2LZ, 3LZ, but this is kind of the average, also depending on all mileage. For the Challenger, it wasn't even as expensive as the C7. However, they're more expensive now than the C7, which is crazy. 71.4 was the average asking price for a wide body Challenger back in 2019. And then the average price now for a wide body Challenger is 62, 63. So 87% of the value has still been retained versus 73 in the C7 Z06, which is why the C7 Z06 get a 6 for value, and then the Challenger gets an 8, simply because these prices are really high. However, I do predict that these prices aren't going to stay that high. I think they're going to come down because a ton of these cars are getting repoed right now. Well, at least a ton of regular Challengers and Chargers. I'm not sure about the high-end ones. I said CTSV did make director's cut. I'll make another one, y'all. I know there's a ton of cars that could be on this list as well. Okay, so that's that. Brand appeal. Let's see what I got for brand appeal. I mean, they should be pretty much the same. Yep, 6s, American cars, Chevy and Dodge. Not the best brand appeal, however, these are probably the best ones out of the bunch for these two brands. So what is the total score? Yeah, 47 for the C7 Z06, 43 for the Challenger Hellcat. The Challenger Hellcat I really like, but the C7 Z06, you can't argue with the lightweight. You can't argue with the really good power and torque. The reliability is also really good compared to a Hellcat. Value is not as much in terms of it's depreciated a little bit more than the Hellcat, but overall it gets 47 versus 43, so that's a clear win for the C7 Z06. So let's get that up over here. Crop this right here, just like that. And then we'll put that over here. Cool. So now let's do the Model S Plaid versus the, oh, actually I'm in the way and everything, man. Let me move this over here. So we got the Model S Plaid and the RS7 Performance. So we're going to do that right now. Let's see. I got some videos for those as well. Let's see what I got. Model S Plaid. So we got the Tesla ad for the Plaid. Don't copyright me, Tesla. But it's just a Model S, y'all. Hood points would go to the Hellcat. Yeah, I should have included something like that. But, you know, this is a more so an objective rating with some subjectivity. I mean, I gave it some points, but it does get a lot of hood points. Even though the C7 Z06 does get a lot of hood points as well, the Hellcat just would be more. Anyway, you guys get the idea for the Model S. Sorry there's no music, but I'm not trying to get copyrighted or trying to go through all that because I got to literally trim out all the sections. What else? This RS7. 7 music. Oh my god. Look. get the idea for that. All right, what else are we looking at? Oh yeah, we did the Model S and the RS7 performance. Let me get these sheets up. Model S, or we'll do RS7 first. So the RS7 performance, well, the RS7 in general went from 2014 to 2018. I believe the performance was only from 17 and 18. So the last 2 model years of the facelift version of the first generation of the RS7. It uses a 4.0 TFSI twin scroll twin turbo V8, making 605 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. I don't know what's up with this 553 pound-feet of torque number. A lot of different cars have this number as their torque. Oh, that's 750 Newton meters. That's why. Anyway, Quattro Sport differential. It goes 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. So I guess that sounds fast when you're just saying it, but it is kind of slow compared to the rest of the cars. Top speed 190. It comes with comes with Quattro with torque vectoring, Audi carbon ceramic brakes, and has the Audi DRC suspension system instead of the air suspension. Also comes with sports exhaust. In terms of options, do I have the sheet here? Let me just try to find it. Audi, yeah. In terms of options, you can get basically you have your options for your wheels, whatever wheels you want. You got 4 different style of wheels. Single frame grille with the Quattro script, rear passenger airbags, red brake caliper, sport exhaust system with black outlets. Just for the RS7, it comes standard on the performance. You can get titanium exhaust as an option for performance. Black Alcantara headliner. Layered aluminum, black wood inlays. So 2 different types of inlays. Aluminum race inlays. You also have the Bang & Olufsen option. Highly recommend. Night vision assistant. And then in terms of packages, you got the cold weather package, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, driver's assistance, which has adaptive cruise, active lane assist, presense plus, corner camera system, high beam assist, comfort seating package, heated and ventilated 18-way power individual comfort front seats, including 4-way power lumbar massage, Valcona leather seats without the contrast honeycomb stitching, front passenger seat memory. Then you have the Audi design selection, which comes with black leather and Alcantara seats with Mercato blue stitching, and then carbon twill blue inlays. So good amount of options for this car. Do I have the Model S? Yeah, I do here. Actually, let me go back. So I couldn't really find a brochure for Model S's, the new ones. I don't know. They don't really have much of a marketing team or any type of team anymore. They keep firing everybody. So I just had to build one online. So the options we have are paint. You have 5 different colors. You have 2 different wheel options. You have your interior colors. You got black, you got white, and you got beige. Steering wheel, you can either get a regular wheel or you can get a yoke. You can also get full self-driving capability, which really should not be a feature on here. I don't know why they include this like this. It's not really full self-driving and people think it is, but I mean, it works, so it is what it is. I don't see why it's how it's legal though, which is kind of funny. Charging, you have your wall connector, mobile connector, and then your accessories, Model S sunshade, Model S all-weather interior liners, and your roof rack. And then you can just order it. So how much is this one? 100 grand. I gotta pay 1,700 bucks today if I want this car to be delivered. Does it say the date? I thought it would say the day. Said it. Anyway, so those are the options for the Tesla. I showed you guys videos, got the options. Let's get to this. Let's clear this out. So we got the RS7 Performance versus the Model S Plaid. In terms of styling, I forget what I gave these scores, honestly. I've been all day. So RS7 Performance, actually, man, I kind of want to change this. I was looking at the video. It looks pretty good. I'll give this a 7. Changing that right now. Gave it a 7. We can all agree here because we're all car guys. The Tesla, I just don't like Tesla. I mean, I like the technology in a way. Like I want to say, like it's like a nice appliance. It's like a nice dishwasher, you know, or a nice fridge. That's what I think of a Tesla. It's like cool, you know, but that's about it. It's not something I'd ever want to aspire to get like some people. Cool. In terms of power, let's see what the numbers are. Oh. Okay, let's change this again. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. If I did, that would be an issue. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So the Audi RS7 Performance facelift specifically, 605 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. The combined is 1121, and the pounds is heavy. This car is actually really heavy, 4,500 pounds. So the ratio is one of the worst, actually. Unfortunately, the RS7 Performance, yeah, has a power to weight ratio that I gave it a score of 4. Model S Plaid, 1020, 1050. So 1020 horsepower, 1050 torque, 2050, 4,800 pounds almost, but the ratio is still high, 43.43. So it's pretty much double that of an RS7 Performance. So that gets a 10. You already know what the 060s will be for these in terms of the numbers. 3.6, it gets a really low score. 2.3. Yeah. It gets 4 and a 10 respectively. Unfortunately, reliability. How did reliability fare out for this? They both get an 8. You know, the RS7, it has issues. I forgot to read off the issues. Oh, I forgot to go over the whole thing in general. I forgot, yeah. So anyway, recall for turbo oil strainers, control arms bushings, thermostat, water pump, PCV issues, engine mounts. These are going to be typical stuff, but it's expensive for an Audi, especially for an RS7. So these are stuff you're going to have to deal with. In terms of the Tesla, let's see right here. I'll just go through this real quick. 2021 to present, Plaid short for Palladium. I didn't even know that. 1 motor in the front axle, 2 in the rear, carbon wrap motor to allow for higher RPMs. It has the lowest coefficient of drag of any car ever, 0.208. Non-circular wheel, yoke style wheel, landscape oriented center screen, rear passenger screen, 1020 horsepower, 1050 pound-feet of torque, 0-60 in like 2.12 seconds. Problems, you're gonna have a ton of problems. I actually should have made this score a little bit lower for the Tesla because it's not as reliable as I was thinking. We're gonna adjust that score. Paint, wheels, interior, you guys saw the options. So in terms of quality issues, there were a ton. It's a Tesla. It's not gonna be on the same level of any regular car company. So let's adjust that score because I don't want to. This is more like a 6. I give it a 6. Cool. All right. So the MSRP and the average price. Let's get that ratio out. So the MSRP of an RS7 Performance was 131 grand. The average price now is around 57 grand. So 0.43 of what it was, it gets a 4. The average price of a brand new Plaid was almost 150 grand. The average price now is around 70 grand, which is insane. You'll see a bunch of first model year Plaids. People are still trying to get higher money than the new model year Plaids. Like a 2023, you'll see them almost at the same price or lower than a 2020. And that's simply because everyone's underwater on these cars. The ratio 0.46, they both get a 4. And then finally, brand appeal. So Audi gets a 7. It's a German luxury car brand. Tesla gets a 1. I don't care what you guys have to say. If you're a Tesla fan, I don't know why. It gets a 1. No one likes the brand. It's not really a car brand. They have tons of issues in terms of, you know, just like the whole perception isn't the best, you know. You got nerds who like them, and that's pretty much it. So I actually saw a Cybertruck the other day for the first time, and it looks really weird in person. So it gets a 1. So what are the totals here? Ooh, it was close, man, but total is going to be 34 versus 36. Unfortunately, the Plaid wins. The RS7 Performance is just too slow and it's too heavy. It has better styling than the Plaid, but the Plaid, the speed is just too crazy. You have 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 torque. Yeah, EVs are going down the hill, man. They're too expensive. And also the charging is inconvenient, especially, I mean, not always inconvenient, but it is if there's a big surge of people needing to be charged. No one wants to wait in that long line, especially like in California. You always see those pictures out there. Yeah, the brand appeal is low for these cars. The quality isn't the best, but it's still reliable thing because it is an electric car. There isn't much to go wrong. It's just more of the quality issues, just differences from the factory, basically. But yeah, the 0-60 time and the power to weight ratio really carry this car. But 34 to 36, unfortunately for us car people, the Plaid wins. The Audi RS Performance is just not. If it had a higher price, like it retained its value more, then it would have gave it an edge. If it had a faster acceleration time, it's just way too heavy. But honestly, like it could go either or. But still, whatever. That's the score. We can always do another video when we compare, and we can leave out the Plaid because it's not really a real car anyway, to be honest. It's an electric appliance. So in terms of the winner there, it's going to be the Model S Plaid. We'll put that right here. And then finally, we have the AMG GTS versus the R35 GTR, specifically the DBA. So let's get those, let's watch some videos actually. Let's see that. Don't copyright my videos, y'all. Oh man, we gotta mute that. So muting that, as you can see, this one looks pretty cool. Right-hand drive, looks like it's in Japan or something. But the GTR is really cool. It's just a really big car, but it's super fast. And it's very Japanese, just in this styling. Shout out to Clean Whips. He loves this car. We're going to get him one. We're going to find out the best deal we can get. And we're going to all lowball him, or lowball the seller, so he'll get the deal. Yeah, unfortunately, no music or sound, but you guys know what the GTR sounds like. Right, exactly. Some guy's getting an EV subsidy, so you're paying for that. Where is this? What country is this? Everything's in English, but it's a right-hand drive car. What country is this, yo? I've never seen a plate that looks like that. Japan? It doesn't look like Japan. It would have a Japanese plate. And everything's in English. Like all the signs. I don't know. And it's a right-hand drive. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Anyway, you guys get the idea for the GTR. What else were we comparing it to? The AMG GTS. Oh my god. So much sound, so much music. I like the AMG GTS, or the AMG GT in general. However, I think the GTC is where it starts getting really cool. The GTS is still a narrow body car. So, it's not as cool as the GTC or GTR. I think the GTC and the GTR are truly like almost exotic cars in their own right, simply because of their stance. But the GT is a really good deal right now. GT and GTSs are like the difference between a GT and GTS and a GTC and GTR, like there's a huge gap between them. So the GTS is still a really good car, especially if you get like the performance package and whatnot. But yeah, fair use, y'all. Don't copyright my video. I'm so tired of y'all having to dispute every single clip in every video. Yeah, you guys get the idea for the AMG GT. We got the GTS versus the GTR. The one with the gull wing is the SLS. Yeah, this one's the AMG GT. Right, SLS, right? SLS. Yeah, SLS AMG. With the doors. Cool. All right, so let's get on to the sheets. Let's see what we got in terms of facts. We'll start off with the AMG GT. Oh, I actually put a new one up here. This is a facelifted one. My bad, y'all. We're looking at the pre-facelift. Wrong picture. Anyway, pre-facelift. Only 2 years, 2016 to 2017. It comes in a GT or GTS. We're looking at GTS specifically because it has a little bit more power. It uses the M178 bi-turbo V8 with the hot V. So that 4-liter AMG engine, one of the best engines by AMG in terms of just being a good, reliable power plant that makes a lot of power and has tuning capability. I get it. A lot of people are going to like the 6.2 liter. Some people even like the 5.5 liter, but the 4.0 is the most versatile. Of course, it's in multiple brands in terms of it's in the Aston Martin. It's been used in Aston Martins for almost, well, over 2 generations now. GTS making 503 horsepower, 483 pound-feet of torque. It has the old-style grille, not this Pan America grille. Old-style interior, so the buttons are circles and not squares. And it has yeah, that's it for that. In terms of the options, The GTS includes a limited slip, differential, race mode, race start, AMG ride control, AMG performance exhaust, lithium-ion battery, keyless go, stagger wheels, 19 in the front and 20 in the back, which is pretty cool. Embossed center armrest, larger front brakes, red AMG calipers. Then you have other options. Did I have an AMG GT brochure? Let me see if I can find one real quick. Oh wow, I had ads too. I had so much stuff I forgot to show you guys. I don't know when to look at those, but I mean they're just regular ads. Just so you guys the price. I didn't really look at them too closely in terms of spec and everything like I usually do. God, I have way too many things open. Let's see. Mercedes. No, I didn't get one. Let's look at it real quick though. Might as well. We're here. Mercedes Benz AMG GT. We'll look at a 2017. Yeah. Because I want to show you guys what options you really should get for this car to make it the car you should actually get. I'm talking about the performance package. Go to the pack. Wow. Option packages. Dynamic Plus is what I meant. So you have the Dynamics Plus pack for the GTS. You also have the lane tracking assist, blah blah blah. But this is the package you really want, the Dynamics Plus package. It comes with dynamic engine and transmission mounts, has a wider power band, and dynamically enhanced handling features, firmer ride. It has the performance steering wheel as well as the yellow gauges, so that's how you can tell if it has a dynamics package. And then the other car we were looking at was the GTR. Did I have a GTR one? Of course not. Let me just pull that up real quick. Nissan GTR 2016. We're gonna go do a DBA. Nissan. Where's Nissan? That was right here. Nissan GTR 2016. Let's look at the packages real quick. We just did this the other day, so you guys should probably be familiar. Yep, we got the 3 different packages: Premium, GTR, Nismo, and Black Edition. You can also get the 45th anniversary if you want, but that's not a real package. Interior color combos, you got a ton. That's why I like the 2016 or the DBA models, because you just had a lot of interior options. And then in terms of options that you need to get, were the packages: Premium and cold weather package. Really depends on what you want. I like the Black Edition. I think that's a good way to go about the car. The Black Edition, it's like rare, and it comes with some special stuff. I mean, it has the Recaro bucket seats as well. But if you don't want those, you can always get a premium car and get the premium interior. You can get cool colors like these too. He said the GTR is nice, but that thing is outdated, man. Interior looks more outdated than Z06. Yeah, I would agree. The interior is pretty outdated on these cars. The car is a dinosaur, but it still is very fast. So that's that. Let me just bring this up. As you can see, this was from the other day, so I got all the options for every year. Tons of info here that you really don't need, but we're focusing on like 2016 Premium, Black Edition, Nismo. It uses a 3.8 liter twin turbo V6, the VR38 DETT, based on the VQ. It uses dual overhead cam, 24 valve, multi-port injection. It has a 6-speed Borg Warner GR6Z30A dual clutch transmission mounted in the rear, so it's actually a transaxle, which is pretty cool. It's the only, or it's the first at least, the first transaxle all-wheel drive car. So basically the transmission and the rear diff, I guess, are in one piece, and it has a rod or a shaft going up to the front diff from the rear, which is pretty cool. It's almost kind of like I want to say it's similar to, I guess it's similar to a mid-engine car in terms of its setup. The engine is just, instead of being in the front, it's in the back. But the transmission is pretty much the same, if the transmission is behind the engine. So it has the Atessa ETS Pro all-wheel drive system with hydraulically actuated clutches, which 100% of the torque goes to the rear wheels under normal driving, but it can send up to 50% of the torque to the front wheels. It also has torque vectoring on the front wheels, so it kind of mimics limited slip differential, and has an LSD in the rear. Active Bilstein suspension, Brembo brakes, body inspired by Gundam robots. It's a bulky car. It's a big car. Multifunction display designed by the creators of the Gran Turismo video game. 0 to 60 between 2.7 and 3.2. We're just going to consider it around 2.7. Yeah, exactly. Won many awards a decade ago, but it's a dinosaur now. And again, we're going to be looking at DBA. So the DBA goes from 12 to 16. However, it's recommended that you get a 14 plus car, as they made a lot of improvements to the transmission and the suspension. So as you can see, the problems over here on the right. Yeah, 9 through 13, the transmissions had issues, but the 9 through 10s, the CBAs are going to be the most fragile. 11 through 13s are okay, but the best ones come after 14. In terms of problems or issues that the car has, it just has a clunky transmission when you're driving at slow speeds. It also has this thing, the bell housing rattle. It's not an issue per se, but it's just kind of annoying. You can hear it when the car is idling. If it's really bad, the OEM brake pad squeal, of course. And then it has a little bit of transmission slop. Again, when normal driving, it's a little rough around the edges. However, when you turn it up with this car, it actually drives really well. The paint quality isn't the best, as usual with Japanese cars. Corrosion of rear arches you want to look out for. And then CBAs have problems. Check to see if the exhaust is staining the rear bumper, if it's running rich. That could tell that it has a tune or something's wrong with the tune. Or it could just be running rich and the tune might be just a really heavy tune. CBA and DBA had some stereo issues with the buttons, so keep that in mind. It still had some issues with the stereo. And then you can also check the launch count and excessive temps reached. Again, a lot of details for the GTRs because we just did it. And then, oh yeah, we already did this too. Let's go back to the issues though. So you have spark plug failure, coil failure, oil leaks. I'm talking about the AMG GTS, valve covers, timing chain, oil pan, the expensive parts. But you know, this is all kind of regular stuff. The M178 is pretty reliable. It's just with the higher mile cars, you're gonna have to be dealing with some of this. So keep that in mind. Mercedes-Benz ran this engine on the test bench at wide open throttle for 5 months straight. So it's a good engine. Imagine this going at like 7,000 RPMs for 5 months straight. So the only thing is you want to be careful on cars that have been tuned. These early examples will have more problems than the facelift cars. Again, this is a facelift car. So not the cars we're looking at. The cars we're looking at have the single slat in terms of a horizontal thing going through the grille, not the Pan America grille. And then you have steering racks on early cars. And then you had a recall in 2016 through 2018 cars for the carbon fiber drive shaft. It rattles apparently. So those are the cars we're talking about in terms of being in our price range. So you want to make sure that you have a sorted one. But again, they're pretty good cars. They're high quality. They're well made. And so a lot of these problems are going to come with more higher mile examples. Cool. All right. So we got that. We looked at the videos. We got that. Actually, I mean, we might as well start now. Let's look at the ads. Because I got these, so I might as well show them. So we can see here, 71 grand, 72 grand. It has 26,000 miles. This isn't the, you know, the worst example. It's on the 5-spoke wheels. You can see it has the bucket seats. See, it has an old style interior. This one looks a little bit dirty, actually. No Bang & Olufsen on this one. No dynamic package. How about this next one? Oh, these new brakes. Wow. All right. Interior. Burmester, I meant. Burmester sound, not whatever I just said. Bang & Olufsen. They show the gauges. This one has the dynamics package. So you can see the yellow package or the yellow gauges. So this one is the one to get, in my opinion. 69 grand. How many miles it has? 36,000. So, I mean, you're not doing too bad. I think this is one that you should look at. 36,000 miles is really not anything for this car. It's a very well-built car, as I mentioned. Then we have a third example. It's going to be 72 grand. It's in red. I do love the red, though. Red interior, red exterior. Does it have the dynamic package? It does not. So, not a fully blown GTS, but it is a nice spec. The red on red is pretty cool. And it, bucket seats, 5-spoke wheels. So you can get them around the $60,000 to $70,000 mark. There's a lot of examples out there. Cool. All right, let's get on to the comparison. I got that all the way. Let's get this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. All right. So what are we comparing? The GTR versus the AMG GTS. So we got these two. What did I give it for styling? Honestly, forget the scores, so it's surprising me too. So the GTR, I gave it a 7. The AMG GTS, I gave it an 8. You know, that's just what it is. That's what I think it is. The GTR, it looks good, but I think the GTS has a more special look to it. And GTS just looks really good in general compared to any other car on the road. Every time you see one, you have to look at it. It has really good road presence. Same with the GTR, but it's not the same. You know, it's a little bit taller. It stands a little bit more with the regular cars. The GTS is just so low, you automatically turn your head. So let's see the power to weight. What's going on with this car or these cars? 542 horsepower, 463 pound-feet of torque. So that's going to be stock numbers for the GTR. Of course, you'll see a ton of them with way higher numbers than this. However, we're going to stick with the stock numbers. 1,000 5 combined. The weight, it's a heavy car, 3,800 pounds. Ratio 0.26, it gets a 6. For the GTS, you have 503 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. Combined at 982, so a little bit lower than the GTR, but it weighs a little bit less too. So it has a better power to weight ratio of 0.27 almost, so it gets a 7. Pretty much that's the like 0.26 to 0.27 is kind of the cutoff between 6 and 7. So that's why they're different scores, even though the numbers are pretty similar. So in terms of 0 to 60, what do these cars have? 2.7 seconds for the GTR. Of course, it's going to get a 10. The GTR is such a fast car. It's insane. That all-wheel drive system is one of the best. The transmission is amazing on that too. AMG GTS, 3.5 seconds. Not slow by any means. However, in terms of comparing to the rest of these cars, it is pretty slow. It gets a 4. It's one of the slowest cars. It's pretty much on par with the RS7 Performance, even though it weighs 1,000 pounds less almost. So it's not that fast. But it is still a nice car. But yeah, the GTS also doesn't have much pedigree. I mean, yeah, not really. I'd say the GTC and the GTR have the GTR definitely because of the racing background, but the GTS, yeah, people don't know what the GTS is compared to everything. Everyone just thinks it's a GTR for the Mercedes. Reliability. What did I put for reliability? So I gave the GTR an 8, and I gave the AMG GTS a 9. AMG GTS is a really reliable car. It just comes with the higher mile issues. They're going to be expensive, but in terms of everyday daily ability, the GTS is up there. You can drive this car every day, especially, you know, if you get the ones fixed. But I don't know, maybe a 9 is a little bit too high. But yeah, I give it more reliable than a GTR. I know Clean Whips is seething right now. MSRP. Let's see what I gave for the values of the cars. Average price for a GTR 2016 was around 103.5, maybe 104. The average price now, 78,600 miles. Ratio of 0.76. I give it a 6. 131 grand for a brand new GTS. The value now average is probably around 80 grand. I give it a 0.61. So it has a lower value. It depreciated a lot more compared to the GTR. The GTR holds its value a little better, but it's still a 6. And this one gets a 5. And then we have brand appeal. They both have pretty much the same brand appeal, but for different reasons. Mercedes is just going to be a Mercedes. Again, it's pretty high because it's a Mercedes, but also because it follows in the footsteps of the GTR, which everyone knows and loves. The Nissan is punching above its weight class in terms of brand appeal because it is a GTR. If it was just a regular Nissan, they'd probably get like a 4, honestly. But the GTR, because it is a GTR, it gets a 7. So what are the totals? Who wins this one? It's going to be close, is it? I don't know. 44 versus 40. So not that close. There you go, Clean Whips. The GTR does win this one. So GTR wins over the AMG GTS. He says he calls cap on the reliability. He swears up and down the GTR is more reliable than a GTS. You know what? I mean, I might have to look at it, but I'm going to stick with my numbers. The GTR still won, though, so it'll be all right. Let's go to that. Let's bring this out. The GTR. All right. So now we have the M8 versus the Plaid. We already kind of looked at the numbers, but I erased them. So, yeah, so you guys probably don't remember, but I don't even remember. Let's look at it, though. You guys already know what the two cars are about. We already talked about it. We're going to just blow through the rest of this bracket. So M8 versus the Plaid. We got the M8 here. We got the Plaid right here. So in terms of styling, I forget the numbers, honestly. 6 and 5. Yeah, the M8 looks better than the Plaid. But the Plaid looks good compared to regular Tesla Model S. I'm not going to lie. It has the wide body kit. And let's see. What do we put for this? Well, of course, the Plaid is going to win with the power to weight. Same thing with the 0 to 60 time. Well, the M8 competition also gets a 10 as well, even though the 0 to 60 times are way different. Anything up under a 2.9, I just gave it a 10 because those are just stupid fast. But the M8 comp, I'm pretty sure this is underrated too from the factory. So it could have got a higher score here as well. But as you can see, you know, they're pretty close so far. Reliability. What did I say for reliability? 8 and 8. I mean, the Tesla, it's not as reliable. I guess because it's a Plaid in terms of it's gonna wear through its parts a little bit quicker because it's a Plaid. It's 1,000 horsepower. But the M8 comp is also very reliable for now. We'll see. What else can we see here? The values, the depreciation for both of these is pretty bad. 145 grand for the M8 comp, and now you can get them around 66,000. For the Tesla Model S, it was 150 grand. Now you can get them around 70,000. So 4.46, 0.47 almost. They both get a 4 in terms of their value. People don't want these cars. Well, I mean, for different reasons. People don't want these because they're going down so much, but these people don't want them for some reason. I guess maybe they just, well, what I've read, people say that the car isn't as M-fied, or it's not a real M car. It doesn't feel as an M should compared to like an M850i, but it still feels like an M to me. I don't know what they're talking about. Brand appeal. You guys already know this. We got a 7 versus a 1. Yeah, it's Tesla. We can't let it win. So I give it a 1. Total 42 versus 38. So the M8 wins over the Tesla Model S. It has avenged the RS7. BMW M8 comp wins the left-hand side of the bracket. We'll put that over here. Am I talking about the M8 Grand Coupe, a regular coupe, in terms of price? They're all pretty much the same price. You know, within $5,000 of each other. Yeah, they're all pretty much the same price. Done the Plaid dirty. Yeah, Plaid gets a 1. It's a Tesla. All right, cool. Now the right side of the bracket, we got the Z06 versus the GTR. Uh-oh. What's gonna happen here, man? We're gonna potentially a lot of upset people. GTR versus the Z06. So, in terms of styling, I know the chat's in the way, but you guys can read through it. So I give the Corvette Z06 an 8, the GTR a 7. I think the Z06 C7 Corvette looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. GTR looks good too, but the C7 is just lower and wider and just looks a little bit better. In terms of power, let's see what the power numbers are. 542, 463, 1005 combined, 650, 650, 1300 combined. We got the lower weight for the C7, of course, 3,500 pounds versus 3,800 pounds. And so this is going to be a big difference, almost a 0.1 difference in terms of the ratio, 6 versus a 10. This power to weight ratio is, I think, one of the best ones of the group. 0 to 60 times, though. Let's see what it has to say. So 2.7 versus 3. So yeah, again, 3 is going to be an 8. 2.7, 10, of course. I mean, this could be a 9, honestly, but we'll stick with 8. Reliability. What did I put for this? 8 and 9. Yeah, I mean, we saw the GTR is pretty reliable, but the C7 is also very reliable as well. Plus, it's a newer platform, so we'll give it a 9. Even though Clean Whip swears it's the most reliable car on earth. All right, cool. Let's move on to the value. Which depreciated more? Which one do people like less? They both depreciated around the same, 0.73 versus 0.76. So a little bit more depreciation for the Corvette versus the GTR, but they both get the same amount in terms of score. They both get a 6. And then finally, brand appeal. What did I put for this? Okay, cool. So 7 for the GTR and then 6 for the Corvette. So it's going to be close. Which one is going to win? Oh, wow. Not that close, I guess. Corvette wins it. 47 versus 44. It's just a lot faster. Well, not a lot faster, but the power to weight ratio, I get it. It's not, the thing is with the score is sometimes, like I was thinking about it, doesn't make the most sense because the power to weight ratio is a lot, but it doesn't really translate into the 0 to 60 time. The GTR is going to be a lot faster. But I do think the Corvette looks a little bit better. It's a little bit more reliable. And you can get it in manual too. It's just a more raw car than GTR. GTR is a little bit like on the more technical side, and the C7 Z06, granted it's the least technical out of all the Z06s, that's what people say. It feels the most numb. It's still, you can still get it in manual, and it still has a 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. So tons of power made from this car. 47 versus 44. The Z06 beats out the GTR. Z06 beats out the GTR. Where did I put that? All right. So we'll move this down here. You guys don't have the Z06 in the UK? I thought you did for some reason. All right. So now we have these two going head to head. The M8 competition versus, actually, let's make this a little bit more centered. The M8 competition versus the Corvette Z06. Clean Whip says the Corvette wins. Let's see. Corvette C7 versus the M8. All right. What did I give him sort of styling? I don't even remember these scores really. So styling, I think the Corvette Z06 definitely looks better than the M8. You guys can, let me know what you think of that assessment. Let's see. Power, of course. I mean, Corvette Z06 has the craziest power to weight ratio, but I already know from just memory that the acceleration of the M8 is going to be a little bit better. Yeah, 2.7. Oh, let's get rid of this. Actually, yep. So 10 versus an 8, 2.7 versus the 3. Reliability, though, what did I give them for reliability scores? 9 versus an 8. So BMW is not going to be as reliable as a Corvette. I mean, yeah, I guess that's so. The Corvette is a little bit easier to maintain as well in terms of parts. And it's just going to have a... Yeah, the M8 is a little bit more complicated than the R8. Or the M8. Or the... See, what did I... The M8 is a little bit more complicated than the Z06. Sorry, it's been a long day, y'all. MSRP, 83 grand versus 61 for the Z06. 144, yeah. The value for the M8 is just not there. It depreciated a ton. That bench should be a 6. Which one? Which one should be a 6? Brand appeal. Yeah, I mean, the M8 definitely has... BMW just has a higher brand appeal than Corvette. Even though it is Z06, they really could be the same. LSA is way better engine. I think it has the LT4, but yeah, same thing. Way better engine than the S63. I don't know. Maybe the original S63, but the M8 has the S63 TU4, so it's like as good as it gets. All the problems are gone. So I think that engine is really good. Plus, it's a BMW reliability. And what's the total here? Who won? Who won? Let's see. Corvette. Yeah, Corvette wins. 47 is a high score. If you guys probably recognize that, as we're going through. I don't know how I feel about that, though. The Corvette wins on paper, but I don't know. You guys let me know. Is there any other car you think that would beat a Corvette? Oh, what did I just do? That would beat a Corvette. Corvette is the winner, but yeah, that's what won. That's what won it today. The Corvette Z06. I guess the best bang for your buck and the fastest car. Overall, it's not the fastest, but it's pretty fast. The power is insane. 650 both wheel and torque. The GTR lost to the champ. You'll take that. Yeah, the GTR, I'd say, actually, let's look at the whole thing. Let's look at all the scores, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Let's look at them all compared side by side. All right. So in terms of the scores, yep, we got 47, 44. Yep. So the GTR and the C7 Z06 were the top 2. So the GTR is up there. So you got second place. That's really good. Third place, 43, be the Hellcat. So Hellcat, we didn't talk much about, I guess. More so in the beginning of the show, but Hellcat is also good in terms of, just a combination of road presence and power. It's not going to be the fastest thing though. And then what's next? The M8 comp, kind of in the middle of the pack. Yeah, it depreciated a lot. It also is really fast, but the styling is okay. I don't think the M8 looks the best. The back end looks great. I don't really know how I feel about the front. 42, 41, the Shelby GT500. It's a really fast car. Has good power to weight, lots of power. However, the acceleration is not the best for the amount of power it has. And it's still a Mustang at the end of the day, but it's still in the 40s, 41. Next one below AMG GTS, it's too slow. It's too slow, and yeah, the value, it depreciated a lot. So 40, I mean, it's a nice car, but it's just not as like as cool as the, I mean, it's, I don't know how to describe this. It's like too professional. The rest are like rowdy sports cars, and this is like a corporate car almost in comparison. I get it, it's a GTS, especially if you get the dynamics package. It's up there, but still 40. And then next, 38, the Plaid. And then at 33, the RS7 Performance. I think the RS7 Performance could have a higher score, honestly. The RS7 Performance is a good car for what it is. It's a 4-door dailyable car that has really nice interior, and it makes good power. 605 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. The problem is it just weighs a ton. It's one of the heaviest cars here. Aside from the Plaid has a ton of power though, so it can make up for it. Also, the value. The RS7 Performances have gone down a lot, so lots of depreciation for these cars. 33, but yeah, Tesla Model S Plaid is in second place. Second to last. RS7 is in last place. Cool. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little discussion, little comparison. I'm trying to, it's a little bit smoother than the first one. The first one I was kind of bouncing around between a bunch of stuff, but I like how I got this. I did like the uncover or reveal it, so it's not all out here and ruins the surprise, I guess. Even though once you kind of remember the scores, you don't forget them. But it is what it is. We forgot to look at the ads though. Let's actually look at all these ads real quick, and then I'll close out of here. So we got the GTR, 74 grand for a black edition. We looked at this one during the GTR video, but we can see the interior is going to have the black and red Recaros. This one looks pretty stock. But yeah, black edition is probably where I would go in terms of a GTR. It has a nice Recaro seats, and they look pretty cool. They have the wheels as well. This one is going to be another black edition, but it's red. I don't think this is a black edition. I think they just lied to me. It's a premium with the premium interior. We can see that here. Not too many pictures. And then finally, this one looks good too. This is one of my favorites actually that we saw, the black edition on the 5 spokes. Interior looks good. I don't like this wheel, but it is what it is. Yeah, this one just looks really good. Moving on to the C706s. We have a black one here. This one's a manual, 3LZ. I do like the 3LZ manuals. That's probably what I would do. And this one's in black as well, so you really can't go wrong with something like this. The only problem is I would want to get one with the carbon seats, but if I can't, this would be fine too. This one is going to be a 1LZ, so it's going to be base inside. Automatic though, you do have the Alcantara wheel. These ones also have the carbon seats, as you can see. That's what I like, the carbon seats. I want a 3LZ with the carbon seats. So you can see here, no nav, but it does have the big screen. 1LZ car. Yep, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Just gonna fly through these. 2016, this one is a 2LZ car. This one is a manual as well. Basic seats. Actually, no, these are the carbon seats too. So yeah, 2LZ with the carbon seats. Again, I would only have it with the carbon seats. We can see the LT4 supercharged 6.2 liter. This one also has the Bose sound system. Not a bad deal. 68 grand. Only 11,000 miles in this vehicle. So this one is doing, that's not many miles at all. Moving on, we have the RS7s. We have this one in blue. What's this? Nagaro blue, Sepang blue. So this one's a performance, as you can see. It has the diamond or the hexagon, the honeycomb, Alcantara, and leather interior. Again, it's going to be performance though. So a lot of the options, not too many options to get on a performance. It all pretty much comes how it comes. This one, 59 grand, 60 grand, 37,000 miles. Insane. 2018. And they already discounted it. Yeah, it's been for sale for 2 months. These things are not moving. No one wants these. Crazy. Then we have another one. This one's going to be an RS7 Quattro Performance Prestige. So this one should be pretty much fully loaded. Yep, same thing. The honeycomb Alcantara. Again, most of them are going to be pretty much fully loaded. They're the performance models of the car. Let me actually move my head over here. 54 grand, only 43,000 miles. It's pretty insane because I remember these cars like maybe 5 or 6 years ago for the very first RS7s, not a facelift, a pre-facelift for 43,000 miles. They'd be around this price, and now the facelift ones are around this price, not too much later. Yeah, these later model years, they depreciated a ton. The early ones are probably still not that far off of these, which is pretty crazy. Then our final one, we have an RS7 Quattro Performance Prestige again, but it has the 5-spoke wheels. I like these wheels a lot, especially in black. This car looks really good. This one does not have the honeycomb seats. This one has the comfort package seats, as you can see. It's all up to you. The comfort package seats are going to be way more, they have way more adjustment. They just don't have the cool design. So it's carbon fiber. I'm not sure why this looks like the European filter, like when you're in like Eastern Europe or something. Yeah, I like this one. This one's probably my favorite. Black. And you can see with the facelift first generations with the tinted tail lights, they look really good. Now we have the M8s, which are crazy. 2020, only 22,000 miles, and they want 70 grand for it. This thing was almost 150 grand brand new. This is a competition as well. Just insane. Not the best in terms of interior color combos, but it is one of those fancy interiors. You have the diamond stitch. It has a Harman Kardon system as well, carbon fiber trim, the basic wheels. But again, M8 competition for half off and only has 22,000 miles. That is insane. Same thing with this one, 28,000 miles, has a little bit better wheels. Let's look at the spec. The interior has pretty much the same spec, the black spec. This one has the Bang & Olufsen system though, so a little bit more upgraded than the first example, but it's still a carbon competition, excuse me. But yeah, these cars are crazy in terms of depreciation. I don't know what the problem is. I just think maybe that's a sign that I should get one. Yeah, nice dealership. Moving on to our next one, we have a black example. Final one, 63 grand for this one, 45,000 miles. So a little bit of miles on this one, but it's only $63,000. It has a black interior. Again, it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna, like, they may look a little basic in pictures, these M8 interiors, but I think they look pretty good. Where are the Grand Coupes? Do you like the Grand Coupe or something? Were you asking about that earlier? I don't like Grand Coupes. I don't like the 6 Series Grand Coupe. I don't like the 8 Series Grand Coupe. They're huge. They're like these long cars. And I'm just a coupe guy. I mean, the Grand Coupes are there too. You want to see the prices though? We'll look at the prices. I selected for coupes only, but you've been asking, so I got you. Let's see, body style. Oh no, we got them here. Here we got a 2021 Grand Coupe with 23,000 miles. You can see this big boy. It's a big car right here. Red interior on this one. But again, it's a competition. Or this is not a competition. The coupes are ugly. Oh my god. You like the Grand Coupe over the coupe? You're crazy. The Grand Coupes are cool, but I always like a coupe. I like two-door cars. I would agree with you in the fact that the coupe looks like a Mustang. But I like the coupes, especially in person. You just don't see them. But yeah, I mean, the Grand Coupe looks all right, I guess. I'll give it that. It doesn't look too bad. Practicality, blah blah blah. Just get another car, man. Yeah, but those are the M8s. Again, this is a higher spec one, and it is maybe it's the coupes that are cheap. Maybe you're right, because I see a lot of Grand Coupes and they're a little bit more expensive. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Let's actually see real quick. We're gonna do that. Competition Grand Coupe. No. You can still get them for cheap. Look, we have a purple one right here. Purple. I don't know what these wheels are though. Competition Grand Coupe. Interior is gonna be black. Good amount of miles though. 30,000 miles. Harman Kardon system, not the Bang & Olufsen, but still 68 grand. So yeah, Grand Coupes are still cheap too, I guess. Lowest price. Let's see what we got here. But it seems like the coupes are cheaper than the Grand Coupes. I think that is my final verdict. Yeah, competition. Let's see what this looks like on the interior. Yeah, I'm just more of a coupe guy. Let's go over. We've got the Shelby GT500. This one's in yellow. Do they still make Alpinas? Yeah, they make the Alpina B8. Looks really good. I'm going to do an Alpina B6 video pretty soon. Simply because I've been looking at those recently as well. See GT500 though, Alcantara leather seats, that the Predator engine with the 2.65 liter supercharger, huge supercharger on this one, 760 horsepower. But yeah, this one's in green or lime green. We have a blue example. I like this blue. I think this blue is one of the best colors. I like the front end of these. I'll give it that. It looks good, the front end, but the rest of it, you know, it's just a Mustang. The interior too. Dual clutch car, which is interesting. But how much do they want? 80 grand for this one. 77. Yeah, these are holding their value. And 79 for this one, this dark blue one. Like a purple almost. It's not about how the car looks on the interior. It's about how it drives and how it sounds. These cars sound insane. If you ever heard one in real life or just watched any videos, it's one of the craziest sounding cars ever. 9,000 miles. They want 80 grand for it. Moving on, we have our Hellcats. Got a silver one right here. 64 grand. Only 9,000 miles. And I don't even know. One accident, so this isn't a real price, unfortunately. Cloth seats too. Yeah, this is not a good car. Anyway, moving on to our next one. Does this have an accident? Probably. No accidents, thank God. What do I think about the C63S? I really like the C63S. I have a lot of experience with them. And I've driven them plenty of times. Really fast cars, really torquey. But the problem is, like, most of them are gonna be. I like the coupe more than the sedan. The sedan looks like a regular car. The coupe is cool. I'll give it that. The coupe is cool. Maybe I'll include that on the next one in terms of supercar killers. In terms of they just make a lot of power and they're pretty fast. This one, leather seats, wide body, white Hellcat, looks pretty good to me. 2022, 73 grand, only 9,800 miles. Yeah, this is pretty much what it is gonna be, but it's been for sale for 20 days. I think these will go down another 10 grand, if we're going to be honest, like by probably this winter. Yes, don't you guys both have C63Ss? Yeah. Y'all both have them. Y'all should go mobbing or something. Go hit the highway. Get like squeeze bends. Start swimming. Anyway, this one. Yeah. 2021, we got a black one. The only way I'd have a Challenger wide body is in black. How many accidents? None. All right, so this is a good example. 69,800 bucks, 8,800 miles, leather interior. Yeah, this one looks nice to me. It's 2021. I think in 2022 they added the quad tip, so it still has the old two tips. And yeah, this one has gold wheels as well. I love these black wide body Challengers. I think that's the meanest looking thing on the road, honestly. These things look crazy. They want 70 grand for this one. Has 8,800 miles, 8,700 miles. Not bad, I guess. Moving on, we have our AMG GTs. We already looked at these though. I'm not gonna bore you with that. And then we have our Plaids. No one really cares about these, but look at the interior. We got the horizontal screen, we got the yoke, we got the wood trim, black seats, wide body because it is a Plaid. We have a gray one here on some wheels. These wheels look pretty good, actually. They don't show the interior, of course. What they want for this, 69. How long has it been for sale? 75 days. Dang. Dang. No one wants this thing, man. Price already went down by 6 grand. Yeah, it's probably going to go down another 6 grand, honestly. For this one, the price already went down like 8 grand. 7,500 bucks has been for sale for almost 3 months. Crazy. And then our last one, we have a Model S Plaid 2022. New arrival. It's only been online for a little bit. $77,000. It has 4,000 miles. Interior is black. Has the yoke, horizontal screen, carbon fiber trim. Not bad, I guess, but still, it is a Plaid. It's a Plaid. Cool. All right, let me bring up this again, and then we'll close out. So shout out to the Corvette Z06 for objectively winning this competition. We're gonna do another one. There's plenty of cars that I believe could make this list as well. You guys can also send me cars that you want to see me compare. Join my Discord if you haven't already. Like the video as well. Let's try to get to 15 likes. I think we're at 10 right now, so let's get to 15 likes for this video. And shout out to everyone who stuck around for the end of this. I know it's a later show today, but 10 of y'all in here right now. Shout out to you guys. And again, join the Discord, join the community. We got a lot of different things going on in there. And if you're new there, post your car. We'll talk about it. We'll yeah. If you want to buy a car, I got the lowballing tab in there as well. So post a link in there. We'll all lowball the seller so you can get a good deal. All that good stuff. But yeah, winner for today, Corvette C7 Z06. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to do the Mustang, the S550 Mustang. And then, oh man, I forgot what I said I was going to do on Friday. But we'll figure that out. Cool. All right, well, that wraps it up for today. Shout out to you guys for being in the chat again, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the S550 Mustang. And as always, peace, have a good one, and be easy, y'all.